Hello there, Kelby Cross here with the Hammerdown Time podcast. It is Hammerdown Time. Busy weekend. We had High Limit at the Gold Cup, and then, of course, upcoming weekend, Labor Day weekend, big time weekend, especially with NARC returning home to Calistoga, and, of course, up here in Montana, we've got the ASCS National Tour in the state and headed to Great Falls for the Montana Roundup. We'll start with the High Limit Series out recap from Gold Cup. Corey Day, this kid, man, an eighth starting spot and just made it kind of look easy on night number one. Drove up through the field, quick time and drove up to second in his heat race. Won the feature, and that gave him the points lead going into Saturday night. He was followed by Brad Sweet, Brent Marks, Dylan Bloomfield, Max Mitri getting a top five with a big time national touring series. Congrats to that team. And then Justin Sanders on night number two comes alive to win late after Jesse Schlotfelt and James McFadden spent a good portion of the early feature duking it out. In fact, they got together while battling for the lead. James McFadden was able to keep it going, but unfortunately Jesse Schlotfelt was unable to continue at the front of the field. But Justin Sanders was able to get it done on night number two. So, going into Saturday night of the Gold Cup, we had Justin Sanders and Corey Day being the only two high limit winners in the state of California in the fall swing for high limit. Gio Selzy takes home second on night number two. Tanner Thorson went from 11th up to third. James McFadden hangs on for fourth after sustaining damage with from the Jesse Schlotfelt incident. Spencer Baston came up with his third straight high limit top five, his fourth straight overall, and then of course, after their worst finish thus far in the Silva W, the Works Limited W, was seventh with high limit as they were able to make their way through Northern California. The top eight locked into Saturday night's feature in the Gold Cup. Corey Day, Justin Sanders, Gio Selzy, Brent Marks, Brad Sweet, Spencer Baston, James McFadden, and Tanner Thorson, they all locked into the finale. Something that happened on night number two, kind of a surprise thing, because this team's been really potent in making moves and being very consistent, especially with NARC this year. Tyler Thompson and Maine Motorsports, they parted ways after the prelim night number two. Cali Dirt Video posted a video after night number two at the Gold Cup, and Tyler Thompson was, having his seat taken out of the Maine Motorsports car. He drove that car off and on for about 3 years. He was either in his team car, in his family car, or he came up to Montana and absolutely dominated in it for a couple of the end of 2023 and the start of 2024 in the Maine Motorsports car. Thompson runs second in the NARC points. He's only 5 points off of the NARC lead. I haven't heard of it, anybody getting put in that car the rest of the NARC season, but they were second. I did see that Tyler Thompson is entered in a car at Skagit Speedway this weekend, so he appears to be relinquishing that spot. So that does change things for the NARC points going into Calistoga, but we'll get to that in a second, as Saturday night of the Gold Cup saw Corey Day pass Justin Sanders and take off to his third straight Gold Cup. The track did take rubber late on Saturday night. I think part of that is just Silver Dollar Speedway on 3 straight nights. It's tough to keep rubber out. Especially, frankly, when tracks don't get used a lot, it seems like they're more susceptible to rubber the more you run on them. So Corey ties Steve Kinzer as the only other driver to win 3 Gold Cups in a row. Corey Day is 19. Has not even reached 20 yet, and he's already in the same. He's already appearing in the same sentence as a guy like Steve Kinzer, and that is wow. That's hard to wrap your head around. Justin Sanders was second, Brad Sweet was third, James McFadden was fourth, and Tanner Carrick taking home a fifth place finish. Nice run for Tanner. And then almost a shock as Brent Marks picks off the win at the Douglas County Dirt Track. Tanner Thorson was second. Corey Day ran from 18th up to third. Gio Selzy fourth, and Brad Sweet in fifth. But Brent Marks able to pick up the win, his first of the season with High Limit. He said that car has been really good, especially as of late. They've been very, very good, and proved it there at Douglas County. They picked up the win, first of the season. Some more high limit news. Jason Myers Racing obviously still trying to earn the charter. Maybe they're going to sell it. Who knows? Or maybe they're going to go full time and throw somebody in that car. Nationally for next season, we'll see. Justin Sanders, Trey Starks, and Darren Pittman, kind of the all-star cast that will be running the Jason Myers Racing 14 going in to the rest of the high limit season. Darren Pittman is going to be running up in Skagit this weekend. Trey Starks is going to be in PA when the high limit goes back out there, and Justin Sanders is going to finish out the season. Good to see Justin Sanders get some more national attention. That RSR fill-in has been really good for him. I would love to see him venture out a little bit more. And Trey Starks getting back to his, where he did some racing, especially with a good team like the Jason Myers crew. Very excited to see how that pairing goes. And of course, Darren Pittman has driven for Jason before, so and they were fast out at King Speedway, so very exciting to see how they, and all of those guys are basically at kind of a go for broke, just go for wins type thing. Keep don't wreck the car, but just kind of go for broke, go for wins if you can. High Limit goes up north to Skagit for the Skagit Nationals this weekend, the Labor Day weekend. Actually, tonight as I'm recording this, it is night number 1 of the Skagit Nationals. The race pays $126,000 to win this year, and Rico Abreu is the defending winner of the Skagit Nationals. Brad Sweet takes a 75-point lead over Rico headed in to the Nationals. Brent Marks, Tanner Thorson, Justin Peck round out the top 5. Rico has been surprisingly unimpressive lately, so we'll see if he can turn it on and get back into the swing. But I don't know. He's just I thought that it kind of seems like ever since they had the really impressive showing at the King's Royal, and then they've all but fallen off the face of the earth since then. So yeah, that's kind of been Rico's MO, though, unfortunately, kind of throughout his career. It really seems like they've, been really good in certain stretches, and then he'll just go for like 2 months without a win, and then, when they do win, they come in bunches for Rico. So who knows? Maybe this is kind of that point where they start to come in bunches. They've got some big money races, obviously the Skagit Nationals this weekend, and then the Tuscarora 50, as well as others, coming up. So that wraps up the high limit portion of this episode. NARC is going to return home to Calistoga Speedway. Calistoga has not run a NARC race since 2019. And I say return home because NARC was literally founded in the Owl's Garage in Calistoga, California by Louis Vermeil. So the Louis Vermeil Classic, obviously NARC has to be there. Fred Hunt, who, is related, I believe is related to Tommy Hunt, who now currently runs Calistoga Speedway. And so that's just, all the parallels there. Pretty cool. Rico Abreu and Dominic Scelzi won the most recent races at Calistoga for NARC in 2019. DJ Neto is the points leader for NARC heading into this race. In 2017, won in the historic Tri-C machine. Buddy Kofoid was leading, but then blew a tire, and unfortunately for Kofoid, DJ Neto was able to take that win home. Tyler Thompson, of course, we just talked about him, currently runs second in the points, but I mean that there's going to be a big shakeup. Sean Becker is currently 12 points off of the leader DJ Neto, so still a fairly tight battle with this NARC title, and that Bjork team seems like they're being really consistent. So I mean, really, if you will, the top five going into this weekend with the Louis Vermeil Classic is DJ Neto, Sean Becker, Bud Kading, Dominic Gordon, and Gage Garcia in the 2K. So, you know, we'll see. I think coming into this weekend, it sounds like we're going to see the Works Limited car show up with a winged car and a non-winged car. I believe Spencer Baston's going to run the winged car, and it sounds like Logan Seavey is going to run the Works Limited car, and that's going to be very exciting to see. Love watching Logan Seavey. He's a fun one to watch, especially in a non-winged sprint car. I don't like that they're running against the high limit. I think that's just bad for both people, so or both sanctioning bodies, bad for both Calistoga and high limit. So hopefully we'll see some more, working together next year, whether I mean maybe, high limit comes to the Louis Vermeil next year. I doubt it because, obviously the Louis Vermeil needs to stay a NARC race. So, maybe they, bring high limit in at some point before so that, they're not running against each other. Of course, that would mean either the Skagit Nationals needs to move dates or the Louis Vermeil, which is historically, since they pretty much started running it, has been a Labor Day show. So who knows? We'll see. Next year, I mean, I can speculate all I want, but we'll see how this is handled next year. Hopefully, they don't run against each other again. I hope they get 20 plus cars at the Calistoga race. It's a race that really hasn't. Obviously, it's a track that hasn't run in 6 years. So hopefully, if you're able to, throw together a 360 car, go up there and run with NARC at Calistoga. Very, very exciting stuff that Calistoga's even back. Calistoga is a very special place to me. I've explained it before. I won't put you through that again. But it's a very awesome, very picturesque racetrack, and I can remember growing up watching the Harvest Classic on wheelie slips and photo finishes and things of that nature. So that's those are some of my favorite. And actually going to the Harvest Classic in 2005 was a very core memory, if you will, for the childhood. Very exciting to see NARC at the Louis Vermeil and the Louis Vermeil coming back at Calistoga, non-wing sprint cars at Calistoga Speedway. Stinking awesome. So ASCS, the national tour, as we turn our attention to more local stuff up here in Montana in the Treasure State. ASCS, the national tour, was in Billings last weekend, and we saw the Harvey Ostermiller Memorial. 38 cars showed up this weekend for the races. Ryan Timms flat dominated both nights from the pole. It wasn't even close. And then he goes out and wins at Huset's on Sunday night. And I believe I saw that it is August 28th. He recently had a birthday. So 6 wins and 7 races dating back to the Knoxville preliminary night. And his worst finish was like a 10th with the Outlaws at Jackson. So Ryan Timms is feeling it right now. He is probably the hottest driver in sprint car racing currently. Seth Bergman makes an appearance and finishes second. Trevor Kirkland continuing a theme this year with him as he's been kind of stuck in third at times. It seems like has been kind of his, I won't say his peak. Well, I mean that's been his best. It's been his best finish all year is third place. So good to see Trevor get a top five with the ASCS National Tour. It's very cool to see that. Seth Bergman finishes second on night number 2 as well, and then Jason Martin finishes third. Sam Hafertepe struggled in Billings last weekend, a 13th and 22nd place finishes there. And on a different note, Kelly Miller, ASCS Frontier Region points leader, passed 26 total cars in both features. There were only 22 cars in both of these features. So Kelly Miller had his elbows up. Awesome to see the Canadian sensation continue the way he does. And he could be very strong this weekend at the Montana Roundup over at Electric City Speedway. Of course, in 2024, Hank Davis swept that thing in the 2C motorsports car. And unfortunately, Hank Davis is not going to be there this year. Sam Hafertepe was second on both nights. So could potentially, that bodes well for him. Get some. He got a couple of bad finishes last weekend, and so he'll be looking for some redemption in Montana. And he'll be looking to get it at the final weekend for Electric City Speedway in 2025. It's crazy. This season just goes by too fast here in Montana. On Friday night, we will see the Midwest Modifieds as the companion event for the ASCS National Tour on August 30th. That Saturday night, we'll see the Street Stocks and the A-Mods also on the docket. And then Sunday night, no ASCS National Tour, but we will see the Midwest Modifieds, Super Stocks, Street Stocks, and A-Mods kind of a showing off the Electric City Speedway grand finale, showing off the mainstay classes at Electric City on Sunday night to round up the season in Great Falls. So coming into the weekend, we see in the Street Stocks division, Cale Tinker holds a 12-point lead over Dustin Collins heading into the final 2 races. Travis Shoemate is 18 points off the lead. Caden Craver and Braxton Tinker are in the top 5. Robert Petrov and Travis Shoemate both have 3 wins apiece in the division in 2025. In the Super Stocks division, according to My Race Pass, Patrick Lemire is the track championship points leader over Casey Stephenson. Casey Stephenson, I believe, missed an event and scored 0 points at it. So that's how Casey is 11 points off the lead. Still has a chance to maybe win this one this weekend. He's got we're down to he's got to make it happen, on Sunday night. And Patrick Lemire may have to have something go wrong. Clay Irwin's in third. PJ Popham and Pacer Popham are in the top 5. Stephenson, of course, has 7 wins this season. And a 58% win percentage going back to 2021 with 32 wins in the past 5 years at Electric City Speedway. In the Midwest Modifieds division, C.R. Eisenzimmer looks to go back to back with the Midwest Modifieds division at Electric City Speedway. Dayton Liska, Marvin Gonzalez, Colby Hanna, and Tyler Leach are in the top 5. This year, C.R. Eisenzimmer did pick up a win in the Midwest Modifieds division. Jordan Tossi owns 3 wins in a division which has produced 7 different winners in 11 races with the Midwest Modifieds this season. So very cool to see that. Tyler Leach and Mario Berger both have a pair of wins apiece. So, and the A-Mods division, honestly, kind of your headliner. Certainly your headliner for the Sunday night finale. Ty Clemens, the Wiz. Ty Clemens is the points leader heading into the finale weekend. This is all according to My Race Pass. Joey Price faces a 42-point deficit Joey has said that my race pass is not updated, and so he's a lot closer. I don't know for a fact, but that's how this is according to my race pass. So Tyler Leach in third, Sean LaRock in fourth, and C.R. Eisenzimmer in his first full season in an A-Mod rounds out the top five. Joey, of course, leads the division with 5 wins. And we'll say congratulations to Caden Back, who was the Sport Compact champion, and Corey Wormling, who's the Rocky Mountain Sprint Cars champion. He'll be in Christian Kinnison's car this weekend with the ASCS National Tour. And Tyler Leach, who was the late models division on their track title in 2025. I did see somebody said Corey Wormling had his 360 motor for sale, so he may be trying to rat hole some money to buy diapers or something. So whatever happens with Corey, best of luck to him. That's it for this episode of the Hammerdown Time podcast. Check out the YouTube channel for weekend updates from the track, and keep an eye out on Facebook at the Hammerdown Time podcast and Instagram at Hammerdown Time Pod. For different updates and shenanigans throughout the weekend. I gotta go pack my stuff. Get ready to go to Great Falls. I'm very excited to work with the ASCS National Tour on the mic this weekend, and just very excited to go to Great Falls. It's always a good time. It's my Montana home track, as I've called it a few times, but yes. So we'll head out in the morning, and I'll see you at the races. I'm Kelby Cross. Hammer down.